Hello everybody and welcome to the Primo November highlights release. I'm really glad that you joined it, and I would like to share with you first the timeline of this release, the rollout of this release, and then some cool features we have within the November release. So we'll start with the timeline of November release. November release first will be installed on multi-tenant sandbox on November 5th, which is the coming Sunday. A week later, on November 12th, it will be installed on the Total Care production environment. And then on November 19th, it will be installed for all multi-tenant productions. And since November 26th, it will be available for on-premise customer on the FTP. Okay, so let us start with the agenda today. Okay, first I would like to do a demo on the new feature. We call it the collection discovery on top of the new interface. We are providing here, just a sec, we are providing here a new look and feel for your digital collection, and we'll do a demo on that, and you'll see how exciting it is. Just a second, I will mute everyone, make sure everyone are muted. Okay. Sorry, would like to mute everyone. Please, everyone, can you mute yourself? Okay, thank you.
Muted.
Okay, so after the collection discovery, I would like to show you a new feature on the database A to Z on top of the new interface, which is a search functionality for database either by title or by browsing. Later, we will have a demo on the Syndetics Unbound, integration with Syndetics Unbound, which is an online service that enables us to enrich, to give more content about the record that we are displaying. Then I would like to demo a NERS request by you of enhancement and more flexibility that we are providing for the hypertext linking. I will also demo an option to export our citation to reading lists, to the Leganto reading list. Now it's being provided for Primo Leganto customer with November release. And then I will describe some improvement we are going to work on within the search and ranking, and some capability with regarding to the release for the new interface as well. So let's start. We are going to start with explanation about the collection discovery that we are providing with the November release. I will explain about collection discovery, what is all about. Now we are providing a way in Primo new interface, a way to expose the digital collection with a new look and feel in a way that it is exposing a hierarchy and allow the patron to navigate through the library collection and be exposed to more resources that are available in the library. We know that library owns special collections such as a diary and paintings items and letters, and now the library will have the ability to use Primo as the gateway to those collections, to those resources. And it's like, if you can imagine like a virtual exhibition or going and traveling, drilling down in the museum, this is the way that the new design provide. this is, and I will do a demo on that. We are also providing a way, the functionality to save this item to my favorites. We are now allowing the patron not only to be exposed to this item of a collection by searching for it, but we also providing a special entry in the main menu that let us give us the ability to travel and to see what kind of collection or are exposed. This is done. This is done through. This is done by special entry, as I say, and I will have a demo on that. And we will start with a quick demo on the collection discovered. So what you see here is a new page, which we called a collection lobby page. As you can see here, we have in the main menu a new entry, a collection. It's better called a collection, okay? And clicking on it navigated us to this page where the title collection and the description below can be configured to your needs by you, the customer. And underneath this, you can see the top level collection is retrieved by the digital repository that you are integrating. Specifically, the demo that I'm presenting now is on top of Rosetta. So the collections that you are seeing now are the collections that are taken from Rosetta for my institution. You can see that Primo learns the hierarchy of the collection, and I will explain more later on this hierarchy for this API. So we can see here that we have free collection, as mentioned here, free collection as the top level collection, and when I hover on one of these collections, I'm getting the metadata of it. The type of the collection, the type, resource type, which is has been configured in Rosetta or Alma or with another digital repository. I will explain about it later. I can also see metadata such as a title and a description. So I see that now I'm looking at the Van Gogh painting, and this is the description that was inserted to it within Rosetta. So this metadata is taken from the API per collection. In addition to that field, we are also taking Primo also take for this collection the thumbnail as defined in Rosetta for it, and this is the thumbnail that this is the bigger picture is the one that is taken from the API. Underneath, you can see 3 additional images that currently are taken from the item that underneath, that within this collection. In the future, we will extend the API, the Rosetta or Alma API, to provide us with up to 4 images to display here, and to make a teaser with these images make a teaser to go and drill down into this collection. You can see here that I have the ability to save to my favorite this collection. Now, if I'm going into this, if I navigate to the Van Gogh paintings, what I can see is a new page. We call it the collection page, where we can see that here at the top banner, we will have the title, the breadcrumb. The title currently is missing, but this was fixed. We will have the breadcrumb of this collection and the description. And in addition, we will have the image as defined. The image as defined by for this collection. Of course, it is better to have a really good quality image defined in your digital repository to be displayed here nicely in a nice manner. So For this collection page, I can see here below the items that are displayed that directly under this, that are configured directly under this collection. We have 20 items displayed. They can be displayed either in two view mode, either in the grid mode, where we have the picture and underneath the title of it and the type and the title of this picture, and we have the ability to save it to my favorite. And we have another way to display, another layout. We call it the gallery layout, where we display only the image. And once hovering over that, we are getting the title of it. So when we talk about a virtual exhibition, this is what we talk about. Give you a really nice look and feel for your collection. Navigate to, if I'm interested to see more detail about this item, I can and navigate to it, and as I'm getting the same full display as I'm getting for when searching for another record within Primo. So far in Primo, we are used to get a flat list of search results. Now within the collection with the collection discovery, we have the ability to provide a grid and a grid layout of the item. But when we are specifically interested in the item, we have the same look and feel, the same design. So we see the thumbnail, the title of the image, and if I'm clicking on the view online here, I'm directly going to Rosetta to view this item in bigger size and to get more details about it in my digital repository. And of course, any action that I can do on any PNX record is also available for an item or collection for an item within my collection. Okay, I would like to show you another to demonstrate the hierarchy. So here we are navigating to this collection, and we can see that underneath we not only that we have the item within it, and we have the ability to get sub-collection. Currently for this collection we have one sub-collection, and then again for this collection, if I want to explain more what it's all about, I have the title as also I have the title and the metadata for the collection, and I get 4 images. 1 image is defined for the collection and 3 from the item underneath. Navigate to that, I see the items that are underneath this collection, the self-portrait here. So I can now also go to my favorites and see that I saved to my favorite the garden with stuff, and I also have the ability to see a collection in my brief result. As you can see here, also I have the collection Van Gogh paintings. Linking on this view, the collection will navigate me to the same page, the same collection page as I demo before. So it's not only now that I'm exposed to more collection in my library, by going and traveling from my collection discovery, I can also go to my library search and type for garden with stuff. And since the data is indexed in Primo, I'm finding it here. And when I navigate here to the full record, I can be familiar that it's part of a collection through this breadcrumb, and I also be more interested in the collection and navigate through the collection path within the full record and going and understand the hierarchy here. So this is the demo that I wanted to share with you with regarding to the collection discovery. I would like to emphasize that out of the box, we are providing it with the Rosetta and Alma. And we also have some kind of best practices how to integrate it to an external API. We start cooperate with the customer to do that. And customer who is willing to write the API with the expected format that Primo expected to get can integrate it to, can really easily have it in his Primo as well. Some technical detail how to set up the collection discovery. If you would like to use it, all you need to do is to add to the main menu entry in the back office a new path to the collection discovery. And then again, in order to integrate, you must understand that we need first the collection and the item to be published into Primo. That means we would like to have some kind of Primo pipe harvesting the data from digital collection. We would like the item to be part of the Primo index so they can be discovered by it. And we will also would like to get the metadata of the collection hierarchy from the API as retrieved from Alma and Rosetta. We have a specific format how to get it, and if we are having this API, we need to configure in the institution wizard the collection API URL, and this is the way to have a collection discovery configurable. Okay. Okay, I just want to see the question. Okay, no question on that. Okay, next, we are going to talk about the database A to Z. I just saw that the database A to Z was really requested highly in the Ideas Exchange. I didn't put it in my slide, but it's requested highly in the Ideas Exchange, and I would like to share with you what it is all about. So now, within the new interface, we are providing the database A to Z, which is actually a discovery functionality that allowing the end user to search for a database. Either search for a database by name, or search for a database starts with using the, or browse it by the ABC, or browse it by the ABC. The way that it works, if we just want to understand how does it work, what we are filtering when we are seeing the resources, the database that are in the brief result, what we are really seeing here is all of the records that the resource type is defined to be database. So currently what we are seeing here, all of the resources with resource type database that within the facet A to Z, within a PNX with facet A to Z, there, starting with the A, there is the E letter. This is the way it works behind the scenes. I want to emphasize that we are providing this database A to Z with Alma out of the box, but in addition to that, any customer who wish to have those databases exposed need to make sure that his data will be defined with the resource type database, and then the service and this database search page will show his database as well. And now we will have a short demo on that. So what you see here is a new entry within this database search, and this entry, it is better named database. In my demo, I want to emphasize that this is a new database search. This entry can be, of course, reorder or reorder within the main menu entry in main menu in the back office administration, and the label also can be changed. What we see here is the search, where we can search for education, and we can see that we can navigate to the database, starts with education, if I link here, I can see, better have some issue with my Alma. I can see my database. I can see my database here. What I would like to show you is that the display of a database is the same as any PNX record that you are displaying in the full display. Is the same here, and also in the brief results, same configuration as for when you see as you perform a library search here. So you can either filter by the browse by the ABC or by database, and of course any action that is providing for any PNX record is also providing for this database search. Okay, let me check if there are
To accept and set message options, press 1. To replay, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To continue recording, press 4. To cancel, press the star key. To repeat this menu, press 0.
Just a second. Okay. Okay, so let's move to,
Are you still there?
Yeah.
To accept and set message options, press 1. To replay, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To continue recording, press 4. To cancel, press the star key. To repeat this menu, press 0.
Second, I'm clicking for. Okay.
Are you still there? To accept and set message options, press 1.
Just a second.
To replay, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To continue recording, press 4. To cancel, press the star key. To repeat this menu, press 0.
Just a second. I just want to try why it doesn't continue recording. Okay. Does everyone hear
Sorry you're
me?
having trouble. Please try again later.
Okay. Okay. Let's continue with the integration with ProQuest Syndetics and Unbound. Okay. So we have now, I will first explain what is the Syndetics and Unbound, and then do a demo on the integration with it. So Syndetics and Unbound is a service. It's actually an online service that that provides us more enriched content and services on the record that we are displaying. The services that the Syndetics and Unbound can give us is services such as summary, or about the author, or look inside, reader reviews, or words of my book. So if I search for a book, for instance, I can get much more details about me in much, and I can explore more about this book using the Syndetics and Unbound. We discovered that customers integrate the Syndetics and Unbound using the customization package, and then we decided to take it out of the box with Primo, with Primo to make it easier for the integration with that. The way that it works, that when patron will look for a record and will be interested in it, the full display will be open, and then Primo will call the Syndetics and Unbound services, and once this Syndetics and Unbound service harvests metadata on the record, on the item that is being displayed, it will offer this Explore button over here, and with this Explore button, the Syndetics and Unbound service will inject the content of the Syndetics and Unbound. So what you see here is not Primo, is the content that Syndetics and Unbound inject to Primo page. We try to give it the same look and feel as Primo, but this is content we are getting from the Syndetics. The way to set up the Syndetics and Unbound first, if customer would like to have it, first you would need to get to access his account manager and to register to Syndetics and Unbound. Once registration is completed, the customer has now a license ID of Syndetics. He can take this license ID and configure it within Primo in the back office, in the institution wizard, add the license ID, and then the customer per review can decide if to turn on the feature or turn off. That configuration to turn off is per view, and the configuration of the license is per institution. Let's do a demo for this Syndetics. Okay, if I search for the book The Raven, and I open the full display with it, now I see the Primo full record page. And if you can see here, you can have the Explore button here at the top. This Explore is giving us the metadata, is giving us the enrichment services that I have been talking about with the Syndetics. So now I can learn more about the Raven book. I can get a summary of that. I can go and learn about the offer. I have the ability to look inside the book, or to get also, may also like a recommendation for that. Get a professional reviews, get reader reviews on that, maybe tag it, and see the awards of that. So much more enrichment content on that. And we know that with the Syndetics Unbound, the patron will spend much more time looking at the full display of the record and explore more about it than without the Syndetics Unbound. This has been reported to us by customers that already are using this. So this is regarding to the Syndetics Unbound. I will try to look at the chat to look for questions for that. I'm just want to see, I see a question regarding the database A to Z. We'll try to answer that and then we'll continue. So there is a question, if the database A to Z list is going to replace the resource recommender. Actually, it's a little bit different because the resource recommender is actually an external database. The item within the resource recommender are not indexed in Primo. You cannot perform any action on that, so it's a different way to use that. And if you don't have Halma, you still can have a database A to Z if you are managed to publish the content, the database content and metadata to be searched and discovered by the Primo index. If you need more details, you can contact me by mail for that. And there is another question with regarding to Syndetics Unbound. I will try to answer. Is Syndetics Unbound is part of our current license or is an extra cost? So it's an extra cost. In order to get it and to get more details about it, you need to go to the Exlibris or ProQuest account manager and discuss it with this and check the detail over there. Okay, let's continue with the presentation. Now I would like to talk about this hypertext linking enhancement that is requested by the nurse, and also some of it was also voted very highly in the idea exchange, and I will try to explain currently what is hypertext linking and what we currently have and did we improve. So currently, when we are opening the full record, the full display, we have a section of the details. Some of the fields over there, like offer, title, and some local fields, can be linkable. We can define them as a link. And currently, when we display offer, the text that we are displaying in the offer, if we are clicking on the link, we are searching for the same text that is being displayed. So if we have a link, same text for display is used for same text when searched, because when we click on the link over there, we are going to the advanced search with this field as exact matching, performing a search with exact matching with this field and the same text. We've been requested by the nerds to give much more flexibility on this hypertexting linking capability, and now we are providing a flexible way to separate the text that is going to be displayed and to define in another way the text to display and another way the text to be searched for. I will, of course, demo this to make it more clear. So, beside of this separation, and out of the box we provided for these fields, we also saw that it was requested voted very highly in the ideas exchange, a request to add additional fields for this hypertext linking. So now you are also able to have the is part of the relation and the title linkable, with the wisdom of what to display, what text to display, and what text to search for. We also provided an option for you to decide whether to search it as exact or whether to search it as contain. There is a new mapping table which is called Hypertext Linking Definition, and in this mapping table, for each PNX field of the above, you can decide whether the linkable is going to be enabled for it and whether to search it for exact or contained. In order to make this feature available to use it, it's required to run an update type, because you are about to change the PNX field to normalize the data over there to make the separation of the text to display and text to search available. So normalization is required. We are providing this feature both for the classics and for the new interface. And now I would like to describe how does it work behind the scene, and then go to a demo on that. As you can see here, there is the details section, and we have the links for the offer and the links for the subject. Before November release, if I've been searching for this title for the offer with the year, I would have got the advanced search opened with the same text and renewal and the years that are defined here, and I couldn't find any result for that because it was performed with the exact match. Now, with the ability to separate, I can display the offer and the year, but when I'm searching, I can only search for the offer name without the year. And the way that it works behind the scenes, it's a little bit technical, but I would like to share it with you. So if I have, So if I add the PNX field here for the contributor, we have a new delimiter with a new delimiter, and the text that are displayed up to this delimiter is the text that we will use for display, and the text that will be displayed after this query delimiter will be the text to search for, as you can see here. And we'll do a demo to make it more clear. Okay, so we are searching for this record, and I'm navigating and open the full record. Okay, going into the details section here, I can see here the text to display contains the offer and the title, and when I'm clicking on it, I'm only search either with exact or contain, only for the offer name, and I finally get results for that. So this is the way, the flexibility here is to give you the wisdom to decide better what to link for search and what to link for, what to display. Let me just check in the chat for questions. By the way, if you would like, I can only see the chat, so if anyone use the Q&A, you can type the question in the chat, please. I can see questions about to explore button with the Syndetics Unbound. I've been using with a previous drop for November release. This option was solved, so no more details for that. And there is okay, so let's move for next. Okay, next, as a cross-product strategy, we are now integrating with Leganto, and we are now providing for Primo Leganto customers the ability to have new action when I search in Primo and discover items that I'm interested in. I can add those items, add those citations to my reading list. And I can add those citations to my reading list. This action by default is disabled, and if you are a Primo Leganto customer, in order to activate it, you need to go to the action list mapping table and enable this functionality. We'll have a demo on that. This functionality exists for guest user, but you are being offered to sign in before you are able to add it to your Leganto. So I will sign in. Now, if I'm looking for the Dead Sea Scroll, because I'm taking the introduction of the Dead Sea Scroll course, I'm now be able here to get a new action named reading list. And when I open it, Primo calls Leganto API and get from Leganto the reading list for this user, and now I'll be able to choose where to push my citation to where to export my citation. So if I'm taking the introduction to the Dead Sea Scroll, I can add this citation to week 3, and that's it. This is the integration with Leganto. I can do it from either the brief result or from the full display. Okay. Okay. Now, I would like to update you about some improvement with regarding to the search and ranking world. We did some improvement when searching for books. We give much more weight for records that are describing if I'm looking for a book. Now we will rank higher records that are referring to the original book than records that are talking about the book, material that is talking about the book. Same goes for when we are searching for an offer. We will rank higher material that was written by this offer than material that was written about this offer. So this is coming from the ranking world. And an additional improvement is with regarding to the citation search. If you are choosing to copy and search a citation, for instance, within your search book, now we did some improvement to the search engine. We add some more capabilities to recognize from the citation, the offer, and the title. So the offer and the titles, the Primo search can find better the records that the user meant to, and know how to extract some metadata that failed to be found before. So this within the world of the search and ranking. Okay, so with regarding to login for the new interface, we've been requested by customer to add more the ability to configure more profiles. So now we are supporting up to 5 profiles when we are logging. Okay, currently up to now we enable only 2 profile to be configured, and also in the classic we are only allowing up to 2 profiles to be configured, and now in the new interface you have the ability to configure 5 profiles additionally. And additional, but also important for you, is now you also have the ability in the new interface to use the Cascade login option. The Cascade login option gives you the ability to configure once user authenticate. If he failed to authenticate with the first profile, you can configure another profile, a series of profiles to attempt the login into. So this option is being supported in the new interface as well. I'm going back to the chat. I see questions regarding the reading list. And someone asked if the reading list action button can be renamed. Yes, there is an option to do that. Okay. So far I've been talking about the highlights of the Primo November that I wanted to share with you. Additional updates that are coming from the list and also from working with the Primo working group. We also added the following stuff for November release as a response to customer. And now I would like to talk about the Zotero support. It's also been requested for the NERS for 2017, so it's been part of November. I will explain a little bit about Zotero. We have the Zotero translator harvest from the Primo sites citations to be added. It works in the classic UI in a way that Zotero translator uses the show PNX API call, and then he extracts PNX fields to get the metadata of the citation. On top of the new interface, we developed it a little bit differently. We developed the Zotero on top of the coins. Doing that, there were some limitation for that because there was a missing metadata when working with coins. Missing metadata such as abstract and subjects and more. So we've been requested by NERS and by customer to make it available for the new interface as it works for the classic UI. And the way to do that is to allow the same extraction of data for the PNX field. So we're now providing a way to do that, to make the Zotero translator harvest the data, but still we are expecting the Zotero translator to adjust the call to extract the PNX field. We still want them to adjust the call to the new show PNX used by the new interface. So this was my update with regarding to the Zotero. Another issue was the session timeout for the new interface. The customer complained that there was no ability to configure session timeout in an institution level, and there were some issues about it. So we tried to respond to it, and we also consulted Primo Working Group with this solution and some customers as well. And now, within November release, we are providing this function, the following, and a full solution will also be provided in February release, and I will describe what we are providing now. With November release, we are providing a way to configure timeout for guest user in the view wizard. So you now can define if we, by default, up to November release, configure only 30 minutes timeout for guests. Now there is ability for you customer to configure the timeout. By default, we are setting it to 0. That means by default we are now thinking that for guest user there shouldn't be no timeout, but it's in your control to change that. We also change a little bit the behavior. When timeout is being configured and the timeout has elapsed, we won't show any pop-up warning displayed. We believe that this cause some noise over there, so there will no pop-up displayed here for the timeout to be. And also, if a user read a book and then he gets back to Primo and to the same result that to the full record or to the brief result of his last search, and the timeout has elapsed, the user will no longer get a pop-up and he will remain with the same page as before. And only when he clicks on the next action, it will be refreshed to the last action. So it's like a minimum interfering and being aware of the idea that the session is being timed out. A full solution for that, for signed-in user, not only for guest user, will be provided in February release. Additional and last update with regarding to November release, there were also some requests to make the browse and tag configuration in the main menu to allow the configuration or reorder or disable or enable the browse and tag. So now within November release, both options will be available. Okay, so to summarize, this is what I wanted to share with you for the November highlights. I will check in the chat for questions about it, okay? Before I will continue with what next in February. So one question is there a way to turn off the setting in Primo to expand the search by default? Yes, there is a way to do that. You can directly ask me. I will give my email, and there is a way to set this up. There is another question. I noticed the digital collection feature where for Zeta Alma, Primo API, we have long harvested our digital collection into Primo. I suggest for the digital collection, you can refer me by mail for more details about how to harvest that, okay? For the DB search, to limit it for local, I believe that you can do that. And that's it. Okay, now, share with you the coming in February release. Okay, so we are currently working on February release. With February release, we will highlight the publication of the Primo REST API suite is being used by the new interface. So we are going to externalize the Primo API to be used with plug and play with you, the customer, by you, the customer. We will roll out in phases. Most important API, the search API, will be exposed in February release with all its capabilities. It will be well documented in the development network for you to use, and so expect to get that. Additional, we are working on separation of newspaper from the library search. There are several motivations for that, and we are now, I'm showing you a mock-up. We will have a newspaper separate page, so you will be able to search only within the scope of the newspaper, and you will also have the ability to highlight your favorite, your featured newspaper as shown here. And on top of that, there will be in the future much more capability to search for historical newspaper and much more. So we believe in its separation will be much more good for your discover items, and maybe to separate it also from the articles. So also this is coming in February release. We will also work on the push to Mendeley. As I also said, we will solve the session timeout for signed in users. And now it is my message to you, and I would like to emphasize, so with February release, we are working extremely on Primo accessibility, new interface accessibility. We are working with external company to comply with the standards of the AA, and there are more than 40 issues that we are addressing in the February release, so it is on our top priority. And then again, also we are working on performance, working to improve initial load. If customer would like to address us with some issue, it can open support case with as much as detail for that. We will be focused for that. So this is what I would like to tell about February also, and to summarize this session, I would like to thank you all. I would like to thank you all for joining the session, and see you in the February release as well. Many thanks.